If you have ever said to yourself, why isn't my account growing? This is the episode that you need to hear. I am going over the number one reason why accounts are not growing and what you can do about it. Ready? Let's dig in. Welcome to the Social Takeoff Podcast, a podcast for travel professionals who are ready to use social media to help their business take off. I'm Kelly Hay-Smith, your host. I'm travel agent turned social media marketer who now works with multiple seven-figure travel agencies to help them infuse strategy and create a target social plan. I'll be sharing all of the tips and tricks of the trade, as well as content ideas and trends that you should be using to help grow your travel business. Let's get started. Are you looking for another way to grow your travel business on social media? What about a group chat with me once a week where you can network and collaborate with other travel professionals who are doing the exact same thing and asking me questions at the same time? What about 2 bonus live videos every single month, extra reels, and a carousel post every single Wednesday? Want to know all about this? Well, I am actually talking about my Instagram subscriptions. For less than $5 every month, you can get all of this bonus content that's going to help your travel business skyrocket using social media. If you want to join, make sure to go to my Instagram account at Kelly Hay-Smith and click subscribe. Okay, y'all, you know I am a social media expert. I mean, if you didn't, I don't know how you got here. But y'all, one of the biggest concerns, questions, obstacles I get in my DMs or in conversations with people is I can't figure out why my account isn't growing. Yeah, have you asked this? Like if you have ever asked this, I'm going to tell you my number one response, or my only response usually, because usually it stops after this response. Okay, but I want you to come and bring your answer to this next question into my Instagram DMs, okay? The question I ask when people say I can't figure out why my account isn't growing is, what is your engagement strategy like? Yep, that's it. What's your engagement strategy like? And 9 times out of 10, this is what I get. Blank stare, blank face. I reply to comments and stuff. Yeah, this is more than simply replying to comments and DMs. The number one factor in your account growth is your engagement strategy. I promise. Your content strategy is important. It's of the utmost importance. But if you want to see account growth and you want to convert followers to clients, you have to have an engagement strategy. I'm going to give you an example. Recently, we had a client who we had worked with for more than 6 months. More than 6 months. They moved up into the next package level with us, and we started an engagement strategy, okay? In 2 weeks, 2 weeks after beginning the engagement strategy, their engagement had climbed 83%. So we had been doing the same hooks, the same calls to action, but the engagement on that account in 2 weeks climbed 83% than the previous 2 weeks, than the previous 6 months. It was up 83% in that 2 weeks. 40% increase in leads from social is what they found. Once we began the engagement strategy, there was a 40% increase in their leads coming in that named social media as the way they were found. And within 1 month of beginning an engagement strategy, they brought in 3 new IC clients, or not IC clients, 3 new IC agents to their agency from engagement on social media. Yes, engagement works, but you have to have a strategic approach. Just like you can't post for the sake of posting and expect things to work, you can't just comment for the sake of commenting and expect that to work. You have to create an engagement strategy. Who needs an engagement strategy? Everybody needs an engagement strategy. Whether you're an IC agent, you're a solopreneur agency owner, or you're an agency owner who has ICs, you need an engagement strategy. It's going to be different for everyone, but you have to be on social media being social. If you are simply posting and replying, you are not being social. If you want people to engage with you, you have to engage with people. It is how the algorithm works, but it's also how social media works. It is supposed to be social. If you are posting and ghosting, it's not going to work for you. I have had so many conversations with clients of mine and with people who are asking me questions in general about social media and say things like, I can't get people to post. I can't get people to comment. It's crickets when I post, or I'm posting consistently, but nothing's happening. And again, it all comes back to what your engagement strategy look like. It cannot simply be, I reply to the comments and I reply to my DMs. It can't be that. If it is that, it is not going to grow effectively and you are never going to nurture followers into clients. You have to create a strategy. So how? How do you create a strategy? Well, I'm so glad you're asking that on the other side of this. In your earbuds, you're going, but how? How, Kelly? Well, good, because I'm going to tell you. The first thing is you have to understand who your ideal client is. You have to know. You have to know who they are, what they're looking for, where they're at, and that type of thing on social media. Okay. You have to know what a big accounts are they looking at? Are they looking at sandals and Disney and Royal Caribbean? Where are they at? Because that's where you're going to go find them. Okay? Got to flip my notes here. You have to be willing to create conversation. Okay? So let's go back to I'm going to skip for a second. So you have to understand who your ideal client is. That's going to tell you where to find them. But let's just talk about the ones who are actually there. Your followers. Let's talk about engaging with your followers for a second. Let's talk about engaging with your followers for a second. Okay. Let me ask you a question. Do you look at who's following you? I know I can't hear your answer, but I still want you to answer me. Do you look at who's following you? When a new follower comes in, do you take a look at their account to see if they're an ideal client? I'm not asking you to remove them if they're not an ideal client. That doesn't matter. If you're getting a bunch of bots coming in and following you, then I do recommend removing them because they're not going to do anything for your account. But don't remove too many at one time. That's how I went to Facebook or Instagram jail once. But anyway, look and see who's following you. If they are an ideal client, follow them back. Send them a message that welcomes them and ask what brought them there or how they found you or where they're excited to travel to next. Create conversation. Do not come at them with a sales pitch immediately, but talk to them. Treat them like a human being, okay? So I want you if they're an ideal client, you can absolutely follow them back. I get that question in Careers on Vacation a lot. Should I follow them back? If they're an ideal client, my answer to that is always yes. Another thing that I like to do to make sure that I can remember to go back and engage with the ideal clients that are following me, I will save a post of theirs and I will create an album that says ideal client. I will save a post of theirs and I'll save it to that collection. I will save it to the ideal client collection. And then when I'm sitting down to do engagement, I will open ideal client up and I will go see their most recent posts and I will comment on their stuff, on their stories. But you don't want to just be like, awesome job or cool. You need to create conversation. If they are posting a photo of their family, be in the moment on what they're posting about, not just a emoji or something like that, but really a thoughtful comment about what they're posting. Same thing with their stories. Reply to their stories. That puts you in their DMs, replying to their stories. So when you are doing that, I want you to show up and actually be there. Hey, y'all, do I have something exciting for you or what? I am so pumped to tell you that on July 3rd, my very first mini course, Reels Crash Course, is going to launch. And even more exciting than that, the first time it launches, I am going through it live with you. Starting on Monday, July 3rd, I am going to be going through the Reels Crash Course with you on Instagram Close Friends. If you purchase the Reels Crash Course prior to the launch on July 3rd, number one, you're getting a sweet deal on it. And number two, you're going to be added to my Instagram Close Friends so that you get help going through it every single day of the month. You're going to get 4 weeks of lessons on Reels and challenges to help you get posting those Reels. Anyone who's an Instagram subscriber is going to get $5 off. You're going to want to be on that now. I'm telling you, head over to the website, www.kellyhaysmith.com/Reels Crash Course, or find the link in the show notes. I hope I'll see you there. Next, I want you to respond to comments on your own content in a thoughtful way, not just an emoji or a awesome, thanks. I want you to ask them questions, open ended, things that can create comment or conversation. You want to stay away from thanks girl emojis or just things that look like you just use text replacement, but really think about things that are like questions that you can be like, what would be your favorite thing? Or something that's going to get them to come back and answer you again and keep the conversation moving. Not only will it help your engagement rate in the algorithm when people keep commenting back and forth, but it's also going to get them talking to you and seeing you in a relatable, likable way, which is going to keep you top of mind when they're ready to use your services. So be thoughtful, be conversational. This is a long game. It doesn't happen overnight, it doesn't happen within 2 weeks, but you can see a massive difference in 2 weeks, as the example I gave you with our numbers for our client that we are using. When they respond, I want you to think about mirroring their language, and you can show that you have looked them up. So let's say that we're gonna send a new message to a new follower. We're gonna send a message to a new follower, and you can say, "Hi," whoever their name is, um, introduce yourself, and then say things like, "I want to know what made you want to follow us." And then when they respond, you can say things, "I saw on your profile that you're a teacher. I saw on your profile that you're a nurse. Tell me where you work. What do you do? What do you love to do?" And get to know them. And then after you have had a few responses back and forth, you can start to talk more about your services. But this is something that you have to go and do over a long time. Don't hey girl them. Don't sales pitch them immediately. Start a conversation. Then we were talking about where you can find clients on big accounts. So let's say if you specialize in allergy friendly travel, look at hashtags that have things about allergy friendly. It doesn't have to be allergy friendly travel. Maybe it's a product that's allergy friendly. Go find people who have commented on posts with those hashtags and create conversation with them, whether it's special needs, accessibility, allergy friendly travel, something like that. Then you can also look at the big travel supplier accounts. You can look at Disney's accounts. Let me tell you something. If you do Disney and you are not stalking the Disney parks posts for comments, because people are always asking questions there and nobody responds, you can be the expert that responds with an answer. So go there and do that. Other places to get engagement off of Instagram are things like Facebook groups. Now, again, you can't just plug your services. A lot of times Facebook groups will have rules against that, but you can give advice, showcase your authority in the area, And then you can create relationships off of that. Those are great places to begin engagement. If you, especially, are still looking for some leads, if you are still trying to bring in more leads to your business, engagement is where your ROI of time, return on your investment of time, is going to come in, is doing engagement, connecting, and networking with people. It's going to really benefit you for doing that. And if you are creating content, especially quality strategic content, because you're listening to this podcast, you're following me on Instagram, hopefully you are also subscribed and you are learning even more, but just creating that, I want to see you get the biggest ROI on your social media time, and engagement is where that comes from. And so we want to do things that are just like this. But I want you to also be really careful when you find ideal clients at their big pages. Doing Commenting on other travel advisors, travel agents, travel agencies, or just bloggers in general, it's probably not going to help you. You want to go to the source itself, the vendor, because you can help with that, or bigger accounts where people are. What I'm talking about, like if you specialize in allergy friendly travel, going to an allergy friendly blogger, it might help, but a travel blogger or a Disney blogger or a travel influencer, it's probably not going to do that. So make sure that you are going to the place where your ideal client is, but you're not trying to like sleazily steal clients from somebody else. And then you can, like I said, those are not going to be your followers yet, but you can regularly engage with them because they're now your ideal client. Save those people's content to your ideal client collection as well, especially if you're getting a conversation going, and stay followed up with them. And then I'm going to give you the last way, but also, so this came from, um, so we recommend this for all of our clients. And so a client who is a strategy client, so we have two different like client subsets. We have one-to-one client management, so it's strategy and management, and then we have one-to-one client strategy only. And so this actually, these numbers came from a strategy client, but we recommend using engagement stickers on every post. So you send whatever post you post to your stories and you post an engagement sticker with it. That can be a poll or a question box or a slide bar or a quiz. And you're putting that in your stories and you're asking a question and you're getting responses back. So, but you can't simply do that. You've got to go follow up with them. A lot of times I will screenshot responses to a poll so that I can remember who answered what, and I can I can use that as a way to have conversation with people. But you have to go follow up. So if they respond to a poll, go follow up with them. And so this particular strategy client had 100 people respond to her poll. She communicated with everyone and had over 20 requests for her had over 20 quote requests from that one poll, but only because she went and followed up with them and talked to them and created a conversation. It wasn't an immediate request for a quote because she didn't throw her service out there immediately. She took her time. She created these really engaging conversational questions. She went and had conversation with them, talked to them, and eventually that led to over 20 quote requests. And this is an independent contractor, an IC, individual agent, with over 20 quote requests based on that one poll that she put there. It works every time. I have said this on my Instagram. I'm not sure if I've said this on the podcast. If you use a question box and nobody is asking you questions, put your own questions in. Nobody's going to know. Put your own questions in and go answer them. What questions would you want someone to answer you? Put those in. And then the more they see other people engage, the more that they will engage. So that's a great way to do that. All right. This was a shorter episode, but that does not mean it's not important, because it is extremely important. I want you to come talk to me about this right here. So in the subscriber chat this week, this is what I am going to start off our conversation with. Who knows where it will go, because that is completely subscriber led. But my first question to my subscribers in the subscriber chat this week is going to be, tell me about your engagement strategy and what did you learn from the podcast this week? And so if you are not yet there, you're going to want to get in subscribers so that you can join in that chat, because we're going to talk about it there this week. All right, you guys, have a great rest of your day. We'll see you right here, or talk to you right here again next Tuesday. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Social Takeoff Podcast. Make sure to leave us a review below and come find me on Instagram at Kelly Hay Smith and let me know what you thought of this week's episode. Make sure to check back every Friday for a bonus episode, 5 Things Friday, and every Tuesday for a brand new episode. We'll see you soon. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Social Takeoff Podcast. Make sure to leave us a review below and come find me on Instagram at Kelly Hay Smith and let me know what you thought of this week's episode. Make sure to check back every Friday.